I really hate that. I get spam all the time now, and it's mostly politicians asking for money, and I don't donate to anybody. I don't. Haven't for years because it's bad luck. Okay, and I won't do that anymore. Anyway, so we were talking about the Acolyte, Fiction Horizon, basically saying that it's not going to get a second season, and not because of its wokeness. It's because poorly made, shitty story, shitty acting, shitty everything shitty. The wokeness has nothing to do with it. Yes, it does, a lot. Okay, because the wokeness, because of the shitty writing, is the first thing everybody noticed. Okay, sorry if we all did. So anyway, and also financial stuff. Now, it's been stated that the budget was $180 million. Puck.com, the guys there said, where did all the money go? Because it's not on the screen like everybody else did. I don't think they'll ever come out and tell us, thank you. Well, it's not derping. I get spam phone calls from politicians all the time, and it's like, I'm not giving you any money. And during the, yeah, and yeah, Kyle's got a point. They want, this is the silly season right now, is what I would call the silly season, political presidential campaign, blah, blah, blah. And this weekend was really like, what the fuck? I mean, what the actual fuck? Maybe I'll touch base on that a little bit later. I don't know. I'm just glad that nobody else got hurt except for the people, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad it wasn't worse than it was. And it could have been really bad. All right, so, I mean, really bad. Lots of questions for the Secret Service and the woke DEI bitch that fucking showed up to lead the Secret Service. Anyway, but so it's the money. It's the fact that a viewership for the Acolyte cratered. And if anybody's watching it, it's basically because for hate watching. Like, you can bet your sweet Bippy that's why Star Wars Theory does. And we were talking about before I so rudely got interrupted by 1855 number, which is, like 1-800. And, you've got her trying to protect herself and her career with going on Nerdist. She's going to friendly fan websites. Okay, and the reason why is because she knows she will be asked hard questions, like about Karen McCarthy, about Harvey Weinstein, and all the other things that are what I'm saying, that they they should be asked. She should be asked those questions because they're legitimate. I mean, look, to me, all right, first off, I'll tell you a little story. The girl from the Mary Sue, fat, dumpy Rachel, whatever her name is, Reichelman or Leichel, whatever, found out that Theory basically used part of that video interview, and tore her and Headland to pieces. She lost her fucking marbles, and then started muting and blocking people because she was getting her ass kicked. And you know, it was like I said before, the video interview she did with Leslie Legohead was literally the worst thing I've seen in a long time, because it was like watching, two 12-year-old girls talk. They said absolutely nothing. They sounded, stupid, and they start giggling, and they sound more stupid. Okay, then so Headland goes to Mary Sue, and then she goes to the Nerdist, which is a very woke fan thing, and it's very interesting to me that she's taking this tack instead of just shutting her mouth. All right, and the fact that Fiction Horizon is saying, and it's not going to get a second season. All right, why? Viewership cratered. It costs too much, and what would you want her? I mean, really? It's like, really? She spent apparently $180 million on this garbage? Really? So, I'm like, you're not helping yourself. Thanks, Jacob. I'm like, you're not helping yourself. All right, you're just go away. Now, and I did do a video about, remember how Kathleen Kennedy's name was on the Twisters, producers thing? She was an executive producer. Then they removed it just recently. I think somebody must have alerted somebody, and she didn't realize her name was on there, and they had to take it off. All right, or because it's just fucked up. Okay, it's just, IMDb and IMDb Pro are very fucking weird. Oh yeah, I mean, I agree, Kyle. So there's that, and then of course there's the email leak, or not leak, but email hacking of a platform that Disney uses, and we don't know what was compromised. It's very interesting. Somebody on Kamran Pasha's Patreon said that it might have been Disney itself, and that's the way they're going to leak Kennedy's emails. But I warn you, Lucasfilm is not involved. All right, and that just, so it's like, I don't know. It says studio, so I'm going to assume there might be Lucasfilm emails in there, but I don't know. All right, there's not been any information on the Gina Carano thing, and there you go. That's all I gotta say. I mean, The Acolyte's not getting a second season. It's just not. So, whatever. Let's talk about what happened on Saturday. So Rudy and I were at Mass at St. Joseph's the Workman Cathedral in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Walk out, I look at my email and go, holy shit. Immediately tell him. I get text message from my best friend just freaking out. And so I went, and I mean, there was video all over the place. First thing I saw was Trump being led away, but he's yelling, fight, fight, fight. He's standing up, he's on his own 2 feet. Okay. And I knew he was going to be okay because he was like, he was pissed. I think if he would have felt, if they would have let him continue his speech, he would have. All right. Dumbest thing that the Democrats could ever do was what they did. Okay. So that went, and then you get all of the ugly from, all the, Jack Black and his bandmate saying what he said in Australia. A, they were kicked out of Australia. B, Jack Black canceled his tour there. C, and of course he apologized. C, his bandmate who said it apologized and lost his management. All right. Seen a lot of people have to either resign or get fired from their jobs because of what they said. Okay, so I encourage you guys to watch all of Lucasfilm. If you're on X, just watch what they've been saying. And if you see anything, tell me. Get a screenshot, send it to me if you have my email, because I will definitely make that phone call to their PR people and say this is, you think this might hurt the brand. So anyway, but they're the ones I would expect that would do it, and they would, are the ones that are not right now. But when you got a private X account, they probably are there, terrified to say anything out loud. But again, they've been outed before. If you remember the Star Wars Public Hidalgo issue. So my thing is, don't say anything to them. But anyway, so yeah, and I want to say this. You got a lot of people on the other side screaming, violence isn't the answer. Like a congressman from, I think Louisiana, who's, I'm going to paraphrase what his former press secretary now, or communications director said. Former communications director said, the guy needs shooting lessons. And I've seen that other thing. The bitch got fired. This is also a guy who wanted to strip Trump of his Secret Service. Okay, now he's backtracking. We don't talk like that. Dude, stop it. You are known by your actions. And you, sir, wanted to take away his Secret Service protection. Okay? So please, by all means, explain to us what a peaceful, loving guy you are, you cocksucker. All right. And this is, this rhetoric of Trump is a Nazi, blah, 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 goes all the way up to the White House. Biden apologizing and apologizing for using the word bullseye. Spare us your phony bullshit. Okay? We know bullshit when we see it. All right. So, yeah, it's been interesting. And Trump chose J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance is a conservative Catholic guy. He's a convert. Very successful lawyer, I think. He was a combat reporter with the Marine Corps in Afghanistan, Iraq. He was there, I think, in 2003. He spent 4 years in the Corps, left as a corporal, went and got his law degree, and now he's became senator from Ohio, and then and now he's vice presidential nominee candidate. And he's a very interesting guy. There are controversies. First off, he doesn't want to have a national ban on the abortion pill. Pro-life people are freaking out. I'm pro-life. this is me. It is not that they are not pro-life. It is the fact that it is a federal issue. It is a issue of federalism, which, if you read the 10th Amendment to the United States Constitution, that's where it belongs. Okay, so instead of the, oh yeah, yeah, I agree, Jonathan. Instead of having a national ban on the abortion pill, which is a disgusting thing, by the way, each state can decide for itself what it wants to do, just like abortion. Texas has taken action. Several states have really, really cut down on abortion. The reason why you can't really have a national ban is we're going to go right back to where we were. Okay, that's why. There has to be a little bit of consideration for the United States Constitution. All right. In fact, that's why Jack Smith saw his documents case go poof the next day. Why? Or no, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Why? Because his appointment was unconstitutional. And this starts every other case too. So watch the leading Democrats who have been very just, look, how do you get to a point where a presidential candidate gets shot at? You keep calling him Hitler. You keep calling him literally Hitler. You keep saying all the, the vile, filthy shit. He is going to end democracy. We're not a democracy. We're a representative republic. Okay? Read our Constitution, dumbass. And it's like, your violent, hate-filled rhetoric, your bullshit, got his ear shot, got a retired fire chief shot and killed, protecting his daughter and his wife, got 2 other people hurt. Okay. All right. Blood on your hands. Trump has never called, Biden Hitler. He called him Sleepy Joe. Or Crooked Joe. Because he is. Okay. So that is all on the left. Trust me, I've seen Lucasfilm. People say shitty things. I mean, look, how can anybody forget? All billionaires should be mulched or disappeared. Wasn't that Pablo Hidalgo? For fuck's sake. After he got his hand slapped the first time from Disney. So there you go. Let's talk about Secret Service. First off, apparently, Trump's actual detail was removed to go work with Jill Biden, who was at some sort of dinner. And he got Secret Service agents and some DHS agents. The short, fat Melissa McCarthy, DEI, film star, that chick. She couldn't holster her SIG. And she was 5'4". What the fuck is she doing guarding a guy who's 6'3"? All right, there's a reason why you've got guys well over 6 feet tall protecting the president. All right, they shield him. All right, and why did the guy that did the shooting, now, retardy Oswald, why didn't the Secret Service stop him? Why didn't the Secret Service say, I know we don't have any more than one sniper team. Maybe the cops, because they have sniper teams with their SWAT teams, should be allowed to take over when, we can't provide ample cover. I have no problem with that, but it's not what the Secret Service does. So, all the incompetence leads to people who are, rightly asking questions. Was this intentional, or was it incompetence, or was it both? I hover around both. And the reason why I hover around both is because things don't add up. Why was Jill in, I think, Pennsylvania somewhere having dinner? And why did Trump suddenly lose his security? Why? Why was it so incompetent? Why didn't the Secret Service allow the sheriff and the chief of police to expand the bubble that would have included that roof that little bitch boy was on? He wouldn't have been able to get up there. I mean, but there's all kinds of things we don't know yet. So anyway, and a word to the angry, Bible-thumping, evangelical, batshit crazy. That's a rumor. I know the girls are out, but that is a rumor, Pete, about the other thing. Batshit crazy. How can I say it? People who are really, they're not good ambassadors for Christianity, all right? They make all of us, no matter what denomination we belong to, look like bigots. Amber Rose made a statement at the convention. She's more than welcome to come. These holier than thou, Lord Caiaphas type pricks are screaming. Okay, it's like, all right. Second of all, they're yelling about the head of the Teamsters Union. This is how dumb, all right, people on both sides are really stupid, but I'm going to complain about ours. This is how dumb the hardcore Christian right can be. Bitch about Amber Rose, you bring up the fact that Christ sat down with sinners, not to agree with them, but to change them, right? And that's how you lose elections. Peter is right. Screaming about calling the head of the Teamsters Union a communist. They are moving U.S. manufacturing from Detroit and other places to fucking Mexico because of Joe Biden's policies. Okay, Ford, Mexico. So it's like, what? You know, and it's just, no, it's a small number of people. These people are screaming about J.D. Vance. His wife is an Asian Indian like Vivek Ramaswamy. And she's a doctor. I think she's actually a laryncologist, which she could have fixed this maybe. And it's like, they're screaming about it because they think she's a Hindu. She's not a Hindu. Let me explain something, and then I'll go back to what the first thing was about. Let's go back in the way back machine. St. Thomas, you know, Doubting Thomas, shows up on the banks of India, preaches the gospel, he ends up being murdered. When white people finally show up to see what India is about, they find a colony of Christians. They're not like the rest of us, but they are definitely Christians. There you go. So there are Christian Indians. Okay, it's not a big sect, and quite a few have come here. I mean, we've got a Catholic Indian family coming to our parish. We've got Pakistani Christian families in our parish. You know, so it's like, oh, okay. So the ethnicity means they're Hindu or Muslim, therefore they can't be MAGA. And you wonder why the left points fingers and screams racist. And these people are unfucking apologetic about it. Okay, so it's like, you know, I'm like, Amber Rose can come in. They're all, I mean, every one of these people are welcome. I mean, these are the people that forced Mitt Romney to get rid of Rick Reynolds out of his campaign because he's gay. Anyway, I gotta go. It looks like at least some of the fan websites are starting to say that there's not going to be an episode or season 2 of The Acolyte, which is thanks be to God. And we just gotta sit back and watch. So we'll do a true postmortem in the morning once the last show hits. See you guys around the galaxy.